The Tennessee Titans offensive line was a pleasant surprise in their preseason debut against the 49ers, but there's still a ton of room for improvement. We'll take a look at the tape on today's film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans. Titans fans, welcome into another film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans, your home for Tennessee Titans film content. I am your host, Tyler Rowland, 25 years as a Tennessee Titans fanatic. I've covered the team for USA Today and Sports Illustrated and hosted the #1 Tennessee Titans podcast, Locked On Titans, for 5 years running. I'm also a certified film junkie, breaking down the X's and O's with you guys all year long. On today's episode, we're going to take a look at the Tennessee Titans starting offensive line. Again, there was a lot to like, but also a lot that needs to improve. Before we dive into the film breakdown, I do want to ask you guys to throw a thumbs up on the video, throw a tighten up down in the chat, and make sure that you get subscribed for year-round free Tennessee Titans film content. And I got a lot of great stuff planned for you the rest of the week. We're going to take a look at the Titans' defensive pressure packages. We're also going to take a look at the performance of Chance Campbell and Andrew Rupcich. So I'm going to have holistic team videos, going to have some player deep dives as well. And that's just the start. Great season ahead of us. But with all that being said, as we always do, let's step into the film room. Our first play here from the Tennessee Titans starting offense is a simple inside zone concept, and I have a feeling that we're going to see a ton of this from the Titans this year. We get a little bit of motion, which is something that is super common from the Titans offense just on this first watch. Love seeing that, but let's dive in a little bit closer and take a look at this offensive line. So in the inside zone, what we're going to see is we're going to see two double teams. We're going to have a double team here from Latham and Skoronski, and then we're going to have a double team here from Cushenberry and Radunz. And the idea with these double teams is you get displacement on the interior defensive tackles, and then one person from each double team climbs up to the second level to take on these two linebackers. And then in theory, you would have everybody blocked. So that's the design of the play. What I do want to point out here for you guys, though, is that JC Latham just makes a mental mistake here, in my opinion, and I think in the first couple of plays, we see a lot of that. So you see the double team initially off the ball, motion comes through, boom. So there's your double team. That's really good displacement to start. Like these are good double teams. You get these guys moving off the ball. I mean, look at this double team and how quickly they get this defensive lineman off the ball. This is the kind of stuff that JC Latham and Peter Skoronski are going to be dominant at. But what comes next is the confusing part, because one of these guys, again, should be climbing up to the second level, and you would think it should be JC Latham climbing up to this linebacker. And that would leave Tony Pollard with, you could go this way, you could go this way. 30 ends up being right here in the hole, so he might bounce, but Latham never climbs. He just never goes to the second level. Now, on the backside, do want to give credit. Right here, we see Dillon Radunz after the double team. He gets the one-on-one matchup. He's good to go. Cushenberry is climbing up to the second level. A good kick out on the backside by NPF. Even we have Tyler Boyd over here one-on-one and Thomas Odukoye one-on-one doing a good job. But again, Latham never comes off onto this inside linebacker. He gets way too far ahead of himself. And I think some of the timing stuff and the mental processing of what he needs to be doing, it's his first NFL game ever. So the game may be going a little bit fast for him. But that's definitely a mental mistake, because now you have two people in the hole. And look, when it's one-on-one, the running back needs to make one guy miss. If you have a running back in a one-on-one situation, you did a good job. And it's the running back's job to make that first man miss. Everybody else is blocking. You make one man miss. That's how we win, okay? But there's two people here. What is Tony Pollard supposed to do? So confusing why Latham didn't come off in time to climb to the second level, but maybe he didn't expect that they would get that much push. Maybe, it's just first game jitters, first game in the NFL, first play. So that could possibly be an option and an answer as well. On our second play here, we're just going to have a classic toss sweep out of shotgun. I love this look, though. A little bit of motion play side, and then you have Chikakonkwo out as a lead blocker. I love the play design there for a guy like Tajay Spears. But again, and I don't want to harp on the rookie here, but this would be a touchdown if JC Latham, did the right thing, basically. A little bit of a lack of awareness here. Again, I think things are moving pretty fast for him right now. This is the very next play after what we just looked at. So what we're going to have is a down block here from Treylon Burks. And I love this because Burks is certainly big enough to execute these blocks on defensive ends. So leveraging that, I think, is fantastic. You're going to have Peter Skoronski kind of release immediately up into the second level. And Dillon Radunz is going to do the same exact thing. Basically come out to the second level. And we're going to have JC Latham pulling out here on the outside on the perimeter. And I love the idea of using Latham and Skoronski and Radunz in this way because they're all athletic guys. So I like this play design. I like the utilization of the personnel that the Titans are using with Treylon Burks as well on a down block. So love to see that. And then, of course, we have Chikakonkwo as the lead blocker. But look at this. So Radunz gets up here, and he cuts off his man. Peter Skoronski gets up here, and he cuts off his man. We're going to see Chikakonkwo as we continue going, and he comes back in the frame, and he picks up his man. Now, if JC Latham would just pick up number 27 here, this is a touchdown. This is a no-doubt touchdown. But Latham gets a little too ahead of himself, and then he goes to help Skoronski and basically misses 27 completely, and 27 makes the play. Now, Tyjae Spears could have done better here and made that guy miss and maybe still scored, but that would have been, an easy read for Latham to make. And again, I'm not trying to crush the rookie here, but it's his second snap of NFL action ever. I could see why, maybe some of these little mental mistakes are happening. He will be better. He will get better. Absolutely. But it could have been a touchdown for sure. One of the things that stood out to me about the first team offense was the amount of quick game in the passing game, and I love that. Get the ball out of Will Levis's hands quick. That helps the offensive line as well. More quick passing game in the offense. And this is basically a slants-flats combination, so you're going to have slant from Treylon Burks at the top of the screen. You're going to have kind of a deep slant from Calvin Ridley. You're going to have a flat route from Tyler Boyd, a flat route from Tony Pollard, and then Chikakonkwo kind of just comes in for a mid-sit-down route. So just a simple red zone concept with slants and flats, and I think Will Levis does a really good job of reading this right away and just getting the ball out of his hands. Now, let me point out here that I think that Calvin Ridley does come open right here, and if this was maybe a goal-to-go situation, I would like Levis to maybe wait and hit that. But I get what he's doing right here. He's like, this is what Brian Callahan is directing of Will Levis. Just get the ball out of your hands quick. And look, Tony Pollard makes a play and gets him a first down. So this is good from Will Levis. But, of course, we're focusing on the offensive line here. So let's take a look at what the O-line is doing. So, first off, great job by Peter Skoronski right here. All right, one-on-one. Peter Skoronski just does his job, anchors down, lowers his butt, and makes it a win, okay? So, love seeing that from Peter Skoronski. You look over at NPF, he's going to have a one-on-one opportunity, and he does a good job, a little too high, in my opinion. Latham also does a good job over here. You got Cushenberry and Radunz dealing with the double team in the middle. Look, Latham does a good job with his outside hand, stopping the defensive rusher right here. Again, I think NPF is a tad too high. I'd like to see him with a little bit of a lower butt down here, but a good job there. And look at Peter Skoronski. Get low. Good job by Peter Skoronski, anchoring, getting low, taking the bull rush, and winning. Giving Levis plenty of time to operate. No one's even close to Will Levis. And that's quite a breath of fresh air for Titans fans, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, on this one, we got another inside zone. Simple inside zone out of shotgun. Doesn't get very far, okay? And we're going to look at why when we take a look at the offensive line here. So, just like the previous inside zone that we talked about, we're going to have a double team here. We're going to have a double team here. there's an additional double team with the two tight ends, Thomas Odukoye and Josh Wiley. And I think Odukoye is in the Nick Van Ette role. So if you see Odukoye, like we saw in the very first play, the Titans ran inside zone, and Odukoye was the tight end out on the field. Think that'll be Nick Van Ette most likely during the season. But double teams and then second level climb, second level climb, second level climb. And in theory, that should have everybody on the play side that you need to take care of. But once again, JC Latham just not quite locked in, I would say. Where's he going? Do you see that? Why did JC Latham go over so far? I don't understand why that happened. Look, he basically goes behind Peter Skoronski. He's just a little too juiced up, just a little too fired up. Good double team over here by Cush and Radunz. A good double team. He gets in good position. At this point, you just kind of need to turn it up. You know, if you think Pete has it handled, then turn it up. Instead, he goes behind Skoronski. And why? Why is he there? I don't quite understand what happened there. A bit of a mental mistake. And he ends up knocking into Cushenberry as well. And there's not really a place for Tony Pollard to go. So that was a bit confusing. Again, you know, the rookie's probably a little bit nervous. I don't blame him. First drive of his NFL career, but some mental mistakes early on from JC Latham when everybody else is doing a relative good job. All right, guys, this is the fade to Calvin Ridley, and because of how quickly this ball is thrown, there isn't really much to discuss in terms of the O-line. All right, so this is the Levis scramble play, and I really like the design of the play. You're going to have in deep in route kind of on the back edge of the end zone. You're going to have a deep out from Calvin Ridley here. This is going to be a quick drag route for Tyler Boyd. You're going to have Tajay Spears come through the line and then come this way. And Josh Wiley, I believe, just runs like a sit-down route right here, if I'm not crazy, if I'm remembering correctly. So really like the play design in the red zone, and quite honestly, there were a bunch of different people open on this play. I'm a bit surprised that Levis didn't hit him. I mean, Burks is open right here. This is open. Traylon Burks. Calvin Ridley has so much room out here. You can make this happen. Tajay Spears runs right past this linebacker and is open. So I'm not certain why this ball didn't get thrown. Like, look at Calvin Ridley. He's got 2 or 3 yards of separation, and Levis is rolling out right now. Tajay Spears down here, if you hit him right here, this is going to be a walk-in touchdown. So could have hit Burks while in the pocket, could have hit Ridley, could have hit Spears right now. He doesn't do that. I think he thinks for sure I can get this. And then halfway through the run, he's like, oh, wait, I shouldn't be taking this chance in the preseason. I'm not going to do this. And you could flip it to Josh Wiley right now. I mean, he's got a ton of time. Josh Wiley's man comes up. You could just flip it to him. So don't know why he did what he did here with Levis, takes the big shot. But again, that's not what we're focusing on right now, but good opportunity to look at the offense. Let's look at this offensive line, because this might be the most impressive rep from the offensive line. So you're going to see a great win here from JC Latham on the left-hand side. Look, once he gets his outside hand on this defender, you're done. Peter Skoronski and Dillon Radunz and Cushenberry are all in this trio picking up this sort of twist right here, and they all create a wall so that none of these two 49ers defenders can get there. And then it's all on Nicholas Petit-Frere, who also has an excellent rep right here and wins his matchup. Look at that. I mean, Levis has all day. He has all day. Now, the one mistake that did get made here is Radunz leaves a little too early. He starts looking over here to whether or not he needs to help NPF, and I understand that, but doing that creates a gap right here that the 49ers defender ends up coming through. Now, Levis has plenty of time to deliver this, like, throw this to Traylon Burks. Why is that not a throw? I don't know. But anyway, 90 comes through, and then Levis gets out. And again, look at Josh Wiley. You know, I think in a regular season, Levis would just take to the air, and he would just dive and get in. But there he kind of gets cold feet. So not a great mental rep, in my opinion, from Will Levis, but a great, great play for the Titans' offensive line. So after the penalty, this is the quarterback sneak from Will Levis. This is easy. The Titans should be so good at this year. Like, this should be bread and butter for the Titans because Levis is so big and he's athletic. And the Titans have a much stronger interior offensive line than they have the last few years. Look at Dillon Radunz here, and he does a smart thing. He doesn't necessarily block somebody, but he just lunges his body forward. And look at this gap right here where there's no defender. This is exactly where, I mistakenly made an arrow, but that works perfect because that's where Will Levis is going. And I like how, Radunz just dives his body in, and if Levis just goes with him, rides his back, then, it's going to be an easy touchdown. The Titans should absolutely dominate with this play throughout the year in short yardage. Love the incorporation of motion, though. Get guys moving. Touchdown. Easy. All right, so we got another pass play here. This is going to be a simple, and again, more quick game for the Titans offense than we've seen under the Mike Vrabel regime. So you're going to have out here, sit down here. Wiley kind of kicks it out, though, reads the defense in the zone and kind of widens out. I like that. Sit down route here from Chick, and then an out from Burks over here. Tony Pollard is going to kind of come through the middle and sit down. Really like the play design from the Titans. Again, more quick game. Get the ball out of Levis's hands quick. That's going to help the offensive line as well. And he gets it quickly to Tony Pollard, and that's a really nice gain. 7-8 yards on first down. That's a really nice gain on first down. But let's take a look at the offensive line here. And this is another good rep from JC Latham. We saw, remember, the first drive, JC Latham looked a little rough, but he definitely settled down on this second drive. Look, good outside hand. And remember, he was a right tackle. So that means his right hand, his dominant hand, was his outside hand. And edge defenders are trying to get to that outside edge of your body. So good outside hand here from JC Latham. Peter Skoronski, once again, one-on-one, you ain't getting nothing. Cushenberry's looking. Good athlete. Radunz is a good athlete, man. He was a good athlete in college. He's put on more strength now, and now he's a stronger guy to go along with that good athleticism. He wins this one here, and NPF jumps out quick to the defender to get hands on him. And you got to mix your sets as an offensive tackle. Sometimes you come straight vertically backwards. Sometimes you jump out more wide. Sometimes you jump forward. It's like a pitcher. You can't throw the same pitch every single time. You can't throw the same. You got to have different pitches to confuse people. So really like what we see from the entire Titans offensive line here. I mean, this is really good stuff. Look, they don't even need Lloyd Cushenberry. They're all winning one-on-one. Radunz and Skoronski almost have these boys on the ground. NPF's guy gave up. Look, I mean, again, watch the jump set by NPF. Boom, jumps out to him. Doesn't let him come to him, jumps out to him. Take the battle to him. Love that. Radunz gets beat a little bit to the outside. He's got to make sure he keeps his hands inside. Good throw by Levis, though. Is a great play for the Titans offensive line. Okay, so I don't mean to make anybody mad when I say this, but what we're about to see is a play that Derrick Henry simply could not run. Like, going to Tyjae Spears and Tony Pollard as a tandem, this play right here is a reason why. So it's kind of a pin-pull sweep is what I would call it, where you're going to have Tyjae Spears getting the ball on an outside. We'll look at the blocking scheme directly here in a second, but it's a pin-pull sweep, a power play, and it's something that we did not see from the Titans offense. Love the motion from Calvin Ridley. More motion in the offense, and we're seeing a ton of it just in these first two series. But Spears gets brought down for a big loss. And yes, that is not good. It makes this not a good play. But this is a good play design. And if you just have some patience, Titans go to it again later. But what we're going to see here is we're going to see Cushenberry pull. We're going to see Skoronski pull. Down block from Wiley. Down block here. Radunz up. Okay? So, in theory, Cushenberry takes the first guy, which should probably be this linebacker, and then Skoronski gets anybody who's coming outside, whether that be a cornerback, safety coming down to fill, whatever, and then Spears should have an open lane to get outside. That's the idea, but San Francisco's linebacker really gets a good jump on this, and Cushenberry isn't able to see. Cushenberry would technically take him. He's unable to get to him because the linebacker comes downhill so fast, and it ruins the play. So that's a good job by San Francisco's linebacker, really. But I do like this play design, and I think this is a good way to take advantage sometimes of people being too aggressive coming downhill, and we'll see that successfully here in just a few plays. All right, so this is a third down. The Titans are going to have to pass, and I love the route concept the Titans are going to go to here. It's going to be a drive concept. This route combination package is called a drive concept. So you're going to have Traylon Burks on the deep route to clear things out. You are going to have a deep out route here. You're going to have a deep in from Chigakonkwo. And then you're going to have Calvin Ridley on the drag route. And one of the things that you have to do with this concept is that if they come out in a zone, this drag route needs to sit down in the zone, not carry it all the way out to, basically go into traffic. You got to be able to have somebody who can read the defense and sit down in the proper place. And, well, Calvin Ridley can do exactly that. So love this play, love the design as well, and it turns into a very productive play and, dare I say, explosive play. Hits Calvin Ridley, makes it, look at this speed, man. Calvin Ridley and Levis are going to have such a good connection this year. I absolutely can't wait. But, all right, so the blocking is generally excellent on this one as well, with the exception of JC Latham. Latham gets beat a little bit, but it's not because he gets beat. He's just thinking too much. The game is going a little bit too fast. Again, I think stuff like this will really improve, but let's take a look here. So did you see Latham look inside? Latham looks inside for a second, and we're going to look at this in pieces, okay? Because watch JC Latham. He's looking at his man, and then halfway through, he kind of stops his set and looks inside like he needs to help Peter Skoronski, and he simply doesn't need to help Peter Skoronski here. There's no need for it. See that look inside? And that gets him off balance, and now he's on his heels, and now the speed to power gets into his chest, and it almost gets to Levis. Like, that's the closest that they got to Levis all day long. So just do your job. Just do your job. Don't worry too much about Peter Skoronski. Like, Peter Skoronski looks like he's going to be fine this year, okay? And the defensive lineman ends up slanting into Cushenberry anyway, so there's just no need for it. Again, the game just going a little fast for the rookie in his first game. Let's take a look at the other side, though, because what we're going to see is a stunt, a twist over here, where this guy goes in, and then the defensive end wants to come inside. And this was something that gave the Titans offensive line a ton of trouble last year because they were a slim offensive line. They were a light offensive line, and you really got to create a two-man wall here and not be penetrated. And they struggled with it last year, but with MPF back and Radunz, watch how they pass off this stunt. Radunz kicks him into MPF, and then Radunz is there waiting. Boom. Picks him up. Excellent, excellent, excellent work by the right side of the offensive line. Great stuff. And remember, Calvin Ridley right here is on a drag route. But he sees that the linebacker is here. There's a couple other defenders there, and he settles down right here to give Levis a window to throw to in between the zones. Boom. And now, look at that. Now the athlete, the special playmaker, the speed that Calvin Ridley possesses takes over. Giving Will Levis time to make these short completions going to be huge for the Titans going forward. So what we're going to see right here is a play that, if you play Madden, it would be called like halfback base. This is just a standard pull play in a power scheme. And I think the Titans' run game is not going to be just zone, just gap, it's going to have a mix of everything. The Titans are going to have a diverse run game, and they have two running backs and offensive linemen who are capable of doing everything. So this is just a simple halfback base, pull run, and it's well executed for the Titans. Bam. Good job by Tony Pollard to get through here. Let's take a look at the offensive line view. So what you're going to have is you're going to have a double team here from NPF and Dillon Radunz. Okay, and then in theory, you would want NPF to get up to the linebacker since he's got a clearer path. You're going to have Skoronski with an easy down block. You're going to have Latham with a backside kick out. And then you're going to have Peter Skoronski as your puller coming through. And I want to highlight Josh Wiley. That's something I was looking for. How would Josh Wiley block? And NWI, who comes in to dig out. So this is a great job by everybody involved in the blocking. This isn't a beautiful run or a big explosive run, but just a really nice solid run for the Titans offense. Everything looked hard last year. So again, you got the down block here. backside kick out, double team, and the defensive lineman ended up slanting outside, so that makes it easier for Radunz to get up to the linebacker, so he goes. Josh Wiley lets the edge guy come in, and that's the guy who's going to be hit with the pull block or the trap block, whatever you want to call it. It's more of a pull than a trap, but that's what Peter Skoronski's man is. So Wiley lets him go intentionally. Now Wiley can get up to the second level and help, and NWI is coming up to the second level. So the Titans have way more blockers than they need, and again, it turns into a positive play. Boom! Good job by Peter Skoronski. Way to make that block. Way to seal that off. NWI. Look at NWI, baby. The best blocking wide receiver in the league. Let's go. Good job by Tony Pollard to get skinny, squeeze through the hole, and that's a good pickup. So remember earlier I showed you guys that pin pull sweep that the Titans ran, and, you know, not Tony Pollard, but Tyjae Spears got hit 6 yards back. It was a big loss for the Titans. Well, I told you to remember that concept, and we're going to see a different version of that concept here, but it's a similar idea. You're pinning with half your linemen, you're pulling a couple of linemen, and before, the aggressiveness killed the play right away. But watch how that aggressiveness works against the defense here. So before, it was Cushenberry and Skoronski who were the pullers. Now we're going to have Cushenberry on a down block, backside kick out by Latham. We're going to have NPF get to the second level immediately. Same thing with Chigakonkwo. We're going to go second level immediately. And then we're going to have Peter Skoronski and Dillon Radunz as the pools. And where the previous one was like more of a sweep, it was more of an outside design. This has more of an inside design, so it's almost more of a pin pull trap than it would be like an outside sweep. And Tony Pollard just has burst, man. Tony Pollard is going to be so good in this offense. But here, the 49ers' aggressiveness and coming downhill so quickly is going to work against them. And looking back, that style of defense crushed the Titans last year. They just had no answer for defenses coming straight downhill. They had no way to take advantage. They weren't a good screen team. They just did not handle that well. And this year, they're going to have things in place to have those answers to those problems. So that's what we see here. All right, 93 gets up the field way too far. That's an easy kick out. 51 gets up the field way too far, thinking it's going to be that same sweep, but instead this is an inside run. So these guys are out of the play, and they didn't even do anything. I mean, Skoronski and Radunz barely have to block them. They just got themselves out of position because of the design of the play, looking like a previous play. They thought they had it. They didn't. Now, you got Chigakonkwo coming up second level. You got NPF coming up second level. A huge hole for Tony Pollard. And this is a 20-yard run. This is an explosive play. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right, this one is just a simple halfback screen. The Titans are going to fake some vertical routes out here. You know, boom, boom, boom. And then Spears is just going to leak out right here. And it's just a one-man screen. Dillon Radunz is the only guy that's going to go out for the screen. And you do that to try to disguise it. If you got multiple offensive linemen leaking out, it's going to be obvious it's a screen. But you do it with one guy, and it kind of keeps the play hidden for a little while. Now, it doesn't work out great because, quite frankly, Dillon Radunz doesn't do a very good job here. There's no other way around it. He gets out. I mean, if Radunz makes this block, then the Titans have a chance. But he doesn't. And the guy's there to sandwich Tyjae Spears. It doesn't really work out, but I think a play like this is going to be very successful for the Titans this year, catching defenses being too aggressive. Again, Radunz, get low, square him up, like too high, playing way too high, and that's something that I will criticize Dillon Radunz for. He's just a little too high on some plays, trying to rely on his athleticism rather than his power. And his guy gets right past him, and he's there to make the tackle. If it's just Tony Pollard versus 30, I think Tony Pollard can make a man miss. You know what I mean? But that wasn't a very good job by Radunz there. Okay, this play right here isn't even going to be a play. It's going to be a penalty on the 49ers. You're going to see this defensive lineman jump off sides. But I just want to highlight this play because Dillon Radunz got so many pre-snap penalties last year. And this time, it isn't on him. It's on the guy across from him. So hopefully that's some improvement from Dillon Radunz because you cannot play out there if you're going to have that many pre-snap penalties. And Radunz is so hyped too. Look, he talks some crap to him. First down marker. Love that. That's hilarious. So the final play from the Titans' first team offense is going to be a split zone play. It's an inside zone run with a split flow block on the backside, and I'll explain what all that is here in just a second. So you get a little bit of motion. Love that. Just incorporate some motion, some window dressing. It's basically going to be, a bunch of double teams, but I just want to call out the split flow block here from Chigakonkwo. He's going to come across the formation from being in the backfield, and he's going to be tasked with blocking this outside edge guy. So that's the design of this play, is to have that backside help right there with the split flow action. So I just wanted to show you that before we go into the end zone view and take a look at the offensive line directly. Touchdown, baby. Tyjae Spears. He's got juice, man. Got real juice. All right, so taking a look here, I've shown you guys inside zone twice now in this video. So you're going to get a double team here from Latham hitting the hip of this defensive lineman is exactly what I showed you that he was good at in his college breakdown that I did before the draft. Okay, so love seeing that. You're going to get, again, the split flow from Chigakonkwo. Cushenberry looking to move up. Dillon Radunz with the down block. NPF with the kick out. So this is just easy, simple, inside zone with a little split flow action on the back end with Chigakonkwo. And look at Latham. Boom. Watch how he moves. Boom. Look how much displacement they get on that double team. I mean, my lordy. Bang. And now look, Latham looks to get up the field and get to the second level, but the split flow block by Chigakonkwo is ugly, quite honestly. But that defensive end cut in real hard when he saw Latham double team, because the defensive end knows, oh, it's inside zone. If I don't squeeze down that hole, it's going to be wide open, because look, Latham is right there to get the linebacker this time. See, he's settled down and he's ready to go. All right, well, because that defensive end slid in like that, that creates a ton of room for Tyjae Spears to bounce this out. And then he's just got this guy, and more often than not, Tyjae Spears is going to make the man miss. So this is a really good job by JC Latham getting that displacement. And the fact that Latham does that encourages that defensive end to kick in, makes it easier for Chig to kind of seal him, even though you don't want to leave your feet like that, Chig. I don't know what you're doing, man. But anyway, it works out. Spears beats the man that he's supposed to beat one-on-one, and it's a touchdown for the Titans. 2 touchdowns, 2 drives. Offensive line really showed some stuff, really looked good at moments. Still room for improvement, but I am incredibly impressed with what we saw from the Titans offensive line in their first game action. All right, Titans fans, I hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown on the Tennessee Titans offensive line. We also got the opportunity to take a look at the Titans offense as a whole as well. There's a lot of motion, a lot of plays that I like coming together, and I think the Titans offense is going to be massively improved. Obviously, it all starts up front with that offensive line, and with it being such a new group with 4 new starters, a ton of young players on the offensive line as well, including JC Latham, the rookie left tackle. This offensive line is only going to get better and better and better as they play more together and they get more experience. Very excited about what we're going to see going forward, but that is going to do it for me today on this episode of Tic Tac Titans. I hope that you guys will get subscribed, throw a thumbs up on the video, throw a Titan up down in the chat. A lot of great content coming your way. And if you would like some Tic Tac Titans merchandise, like this hat or a shirt or a hoodie or anything like that, the link for the merch is down below in the description as well. But that's going to do it for today's film breakdown. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Tighten up.